Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. Let's continue the MS Excel VBA code tutorials. Now in this video tutorial, I will explain how to delete dynamically the entire row from a worksheet using user input value from a user forum in a VBA code. So let's start the tutorial. And here we got the final output. Now when I click button control, notice I got the input pop-up box message contains please enter the employee ID. Now I want to delete particular employee record, for example 11, which is a Karthik. When I click 11 here, enter 11 here, when I click OK, notice the employee ID 11 Karthik has been deleted successfully. Now again, if you notice, when I click again the employee ID 11, which is not available in our employee table. So if the user clicks OK, see the employee ID 11 is not found. Click OK. Now let's delete another one. I want to delete employee ID 2, which is Charan 2. Click OK. It's deleted successfully. Now if I enter some random number, when I click OK, this employee ID is not found. Click OK. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Notice on my book 1 Excel sheet contains some employee data, employee ID, employee name and location, which contains 3 columns, and the sheet name is a sheet 1. Now my aim is I want to delete particular row dynamically from the user input value. I want to delete, for example, I want to delete the employee ID 3, which is a Peter. I want to delete the entire row, Peter, the entire row of the employee ID dynamically from a user input value from a VBA code user form. So first we require one user form for this application. Go to developer, under developer there is a Visual Basic, click that one. And here we got the Microsoft Visual Basic for applications. And now we require one user form in this application. So for that, go to insert, click that one, click user form. Here we got the user form. Now in this user form, I'm simply adding one button control from this toolbox. Just command button, I'm dragging and dropping on my user form from toolbox to user form design page. Now next step is we require to change the command button caption, which is the properties of this command button. Under caption I'm changing to delete. Now let's increase the size of this font to 11. Let's make it auto size true. Let's put this in the center. Now we got one button control on this user form. Now let's write the coding part. Select the delete button control, double click that one. And here we got the command button 1 quick event. Now the code is, I'm declaring one variable dim ws as worksheet. We are working on worksheet. I want to delete particular row from a worksheet. So we require the object for the worksheet, as well as we require one variable to enter the user input value as variant. Now first, what we'll do is let's define one variable x is equals to input box, please enter the employee ID. Now before writing the remaining part of the code, let's check the output. When we click the button control, this input pop-up box is opening or not. I'm running this application, and here we got the output of our user form 1, which contains delete button. Now when I click the delete button, and notice here we got the pop-up window with a input box which contains one text box control with a message please enter the employee ID. Now if a user enter particular employee ID, for example 7, what's the user employee ID? 7 is Paul, and the location is New Zealand. Now when a user clicks OK, I want to delete the entire row of the employee ID 7, which is Paul, from this worksheet, from this sheet 1 dynamically. So let's write the rest of the code. Again, close this application again. Double click the button control of the delete. Now here, first let's set ws WS is equals to, we require the sheet name. So sheets, our sheet name is, our workbook sheet name is a sheet 1. Sheet 1, then we require the input box. What we'll do is with WS, everything will put in the worksheet only. Let's close this and with. Now after that, let's set the employee ID. This employee ID, we require the column from this worksheet. So let's add the columns. Here I am adding the row index of our column from this sheet 1. So here I am adding 1. Why I have added 1 here? The columns 1 means, if we check in our table employee ID, employee name and location, this is the first column, and the second column is the employee name, and the third column is the location. The employee ID column is 1. So that's why I have added 1 here. After that, from this column I want to find what I want to find, the user input value which we are getting from this X. That's it. Now the next step is, we need to delete that entire row from this column 1, which the user input employee ID, that row I want to delete. So here the rows, the employee ID dot row dot delete. So after delete, here we require one condition here. If not employee ID is nothing, then the condition is, if not employee is nothing means if we found the employee ID, then I will delete. After that, let's close this and if. After that, else, if it's not found the employee ID, I want to get the prompt message with employee ID ampersand is not found. Between ampersands, we require some gap here, otherwise we'll get an error. The input value we are getting from X, the variable X we are getting from. That's it. We have done the complete coding part. Let's check the final output. I'm running this application, and here we got the final output. Now when I click button control, notice I got the input pop-up box message contains please enter the employee ID. Now I want to delete particular employee record, for example 11, which is a Karthik. When I click 11 here, enter 11 here, when I click OK, notice the employee ID 11 Karthik has been deleted successfully. Now again, if you notice, when I click again the employee ID 11, which is not available in our employee table. So if the user clicks OK, see the employee ID 11 is not found. Click OK. Now let's delete another one. I want to delete employee ID 2, which is Charan 2. Click OK. It's deleted successfully. Now if I enter some random number, when I click OK, this employee ID is not found. Click OK. That's it. In this video tutorial, I have explained how to delete an entire row dynamically from a user input value from a user form in a VBA code. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe my channel. Catch you in my next video tutorial.